Hi, I'm Dennis McDonald. This is A1 Telephone Service and Repair, A1 Electronics. We're redesigning a UK phone. It's a British telephone. The problem with the phone is it had rotary dialing, a pulse dial type telephone. It looked to be like it had tone because of the switches, the keys, but it's actually dialing out in rotary or pulse. And we are redesigning the board so that we can install a new board. This was on the back of the keypad. It's a very elaborate finger connectors for the back of the keypad. You would push a button and then these would make contact. It's a pretty elaborate little system they had here. It was very, very difficult to take apart and save. I had to put pieces of tape on it. But in case we have to go back to the original design, I want to try to keep it to where we don't have about 2 or 3 hours worth of work just putting this back in there, because there's little spacers in between these three. They're 3 high on this. There's 3 of them in a row. They lay like pancakes, and then they have little pieces of plastic to keep them from making conductivity between each other. So they're layered in. It's a pretty elaborate little system they had there. I'd hate to have to put them together all day long. That would be a nightmare. So anyway, we did part that away from each other, and now we're on to I just want to show you a little bit of an ongoing kind of video here of what's we're heading towards that direction. We've figured out somewhat of what we're going to do here, and we're moving forward with it. Bad thing about this is the star and the pound button is missing, because in the pulse world there is no such thing as star and pound. So that's why these are missing. It's a shame that these keys weren't there and just dummy keys, because we could have utilized them in the design. We're going to try to find out a way to fix them so we've got star and pulse. Star and pound. This is something that we've been working on here. This is actually what we have devised here and came up with. We have a perforated board with momentary switches on it. Now, this is by no means all the wiring that's going to be on these switches. This is just the beginning. I'm doing some loose work here right now. There will be many, many connections here on these switches. This is just the beginning. So it just gives you somewhat of an idea of the backside, that what goes on with it. And this is going to this is the original bracket that everything sat on, the keypad. And basically what's going to happen here is this will be attached to this bracket that holds everything up, the dial bracket, and then the keypad will sit on top of that. And the ideal is every time you push a number, it pushes a momentary switch which will activate the number that you're dialing at the time. So it's just a little bit of video. I like to put out a video of what's going on when we're in the middle, of a process here with certain phones. But we're going to try to get this straightened out. And then basically our next move will be to take these finger contacts and this elaborate board that we had for that generated the pulse dialing. I said the other day that this was a tone, when I watched the video, that this was a tone crystal, a crystal for the tone. It wasn't for the tone. It's a clocking crystal, okay, for the IC chip. IC chips, depending on what they do, sometimes you have to feed them a frequency so that they clock properly, okay? And this is an antique crystal here. This is, well, it's huge. It's got to be an inch high by 3/4 of an inch wide. That's an antique crystal. I have a bunch of them from the old days. I've been in electronics a long time. So anyway, this is a capacitor here. This is another capacitor here. It's a little transformer or coil, whatever you want to, These metal cans here, these little metal cans, different size metal cans, they don't really make transistors that way any longer, okay? Them little metal cans are transistors. And usually you can identify them by 3 legs going to the board. The rest of what you see here are just component level, board level components, some diodes, resistors, and a few capacitors. This real nice looking blue capacitor over here, it's real shiny. That's a capacitor. This is a coil here. It's a wound coil that they're using in the circuit. IC chip, about a 16 pin. Anyway, that's a little follow-up of what's going on. It's a little output speaker for the ringer, and then variable for the sound. So we're going to move this all back. It was very difficult to get these fingers off of that keypad and keep them together. That could lead into a real nightmare there. That's a tricky situation. So anyway, over here is a transformer, impedance matching coil. You got some more coils in here, and this is the hook switch. Over here was that handset. It's a really nice handset. I mean, it's a shame. I don't think America, U.S. ever put anything like this out. And then you might find a few small, find a few phones like this with this type of handset, but that was a really good idea. It's very comfortable. It's a very comfortable handset to talk into and to hold. So it was a very nice ideal. There's the body of the telephone right there. And it is a British phone from the UK. So anyway, it's just kind of a little follow-up video that we're doing, and I want to show you kind of where we're at. This is for everybody that's watches our videos and is interested in electronics. And to me, right there, you could hang that on the wall, and that's a piece of art. So I'm going to shut the video down. We're coming up on about 10 minutes, and it gives you a little heads up of what's going on here at the shop and what we're involved in and some of our next steps. So thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. And this is Dennis with A1 Telephone Service and Repair, A1 Electronics. Thank you.